Hi, everyone. Happy Friday and welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your 3 co-hosts today. We have a special one joining us. If this is your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, and stale information and we make it fun, exciting, and engaging. On today's show, we're covering a multitude of things, including Bitcoin getting delayed, most notably the Blackrock ETF. What is the SEC doing? We're also going to take a look at some macro stuff. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to talk about PayPal and what they're trying to do with NFTs. And a massive arrest. 2 massive arrests have been made today. We'll cover those. But first, let me introduce you to your first of 2 co-hosts. And that is our man Forrest for joining us all week. Forrest, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We also have a very special guest joining us as well. It is none other than Crypto Lifer. Lifer.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so
doing,
much.
Man?
Nice to see you, Forrest, man. It's always great to be here with Forrest and Dave.
Thank you for joining us, man. I feel like we got 2 TA masterminds right here. Man, it's going to be a good show today. I want to start off by thanking our channel sponsors. So first up is Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business maximize your networking, IT, cybersecurity, you want to visit bluewiretech.com or pick up the phone and call them. Use a link in the description of this video. They've done wonders for us and our stream. If it wasn't for them, to be completely honest with you, we wouldn't have been able to do a 4K stream. So big shout out to them. Also, big shout out to Radix, the top layer 1 DeFi in our space. Can we get a round of applause for the Radix team for an extremely successful mainnet upgrade to Babylon? A lot of exciting things happening on Radix. If you want to learn more about their product and their ecosystem, visit radixdlt.com. With that being said, gentlemen, I want to put some smiles on your faces. Now, what if I told you guys, that wiping your behind after going to the bathroom is harmful to your health? What if I told you?
I use a bidet, so I don't know, man. Is that, I don't know what that means, but I mean, is it? It probably could be. I mean, you should wash it first, I think, before like kind of smudging paper in there. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But my wife's Muslim. When I met her, she like washed 5 times a day. I came from a Catholic, so I was like, what is this? But then after 20 years now, she's like, get in there and wash your butt. It's kind of crazy. Weird topic.
Well, gentlemen, I unfortunately can't explain it to you, but I found someone who can. And so Rocco, please cue up my laptop.
So I actually don't wipe my bum. When you think about it, in nature, no other animal wipes after they use the restroom. So why do we do that? I know there's got to be a benefit to not wiping. Right. I don't really know what it is, but if God wanted us to wipe after we use the restroom, we would have a built-in way to do that.
Like a windshield wiper on our
into
butts.
our anatomy. You know what I mean? So because we don't, I personally believe that wiping after using the restroom is not good for your health.
Guys,
he's British in the
God, wait, can I say one rebuttal to that?
Please.
So if God wanted you to like throw your baby on top of the car when you drove home, like, you know what I mean? Like the baby goes in a car seat. Like God did not provide us with the car seat.
Wasn't
There was
good point.
nothing the Bible said put a baby in a car seat. But like, when you come home, if you ever had a newborn, you put a baby in the car seat, man, because if you got hit from the side or something happened, I'm just right. I don't know. And I think we could find a million of these things. And dude,
I think that's great advice. Lifer.
A window open.
Forrest announced he's going to become a dad for the first time. And so, Forrest, I hope you're taking notes, my friend. Put the baby in the car seat, okay?
Yeah, Forrest. That first drive home, Forrest, is going to be amazing. No, I'm serious. You're going to be in the car because the baby comes out. You're with your wife. And then, like, when you put the baby in the car and you drive home, you're just like, you realize, like, you can't get in an accident. Like, that's the one drive home that just nothing can go wrong. And you're just like, you're looking at every light. Your palms are kind of sweating. And you're just like, and you just want to make it home. And it's like a rite of passage, that drive home. You know what I mean?
Those are facts, man. I can attest to that. My first drive home with my firstborn, I was like, no freeways, streets, even if it was almost turning yellow, I would start slowing down at intersections. And so, yeah. Forrest, you're going to appreciate this one as you're a former collegiate wrestler. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to watch the referee. What level of commitment do you think would you place on this, Forrest? I mean, have you ever seen that during one of your matches where the referee?
Yeah, it's the move right there. He's got to make sure he's getting the best angle. Heck, I'll take that over a lazy referee that's like on the wrong side. Got them pinned for like 30 seconds. They don't see it. They take their time to get there. Yeah. Dedicated referee right there. Love to see it.
Yeah. Is it me or am I hearing double Forrest here?
No, that is a.
I was getting like a pick, like some kind of audio pick.
Yeah, we're getting double Forrest. We're going to work on fixing that. While they work on fixing that, we're going to work on Sam Bankman-Fried. Apparently, there's a 90 or a 60-minute special on Sam. And so, well, let's look at the preview.
My instinct was...
As a 60 Minutes camera rolled and author Michael Lewis took more notes, former crypto mega billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried shuffled cards and jackhammered his legs, avoiding eye contact.
Jackhammered his legs.
Just kind of jittering. Man. He's wiggling and jiggling.
Who? Okay, we know there's going to be a movie about this, right? Who's going to play Sam Bankman-Fried? I think Jonah Hill would be a good one, right?
Gotta be Jonah Hill. That's the guy. That's the man right there.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Lifer?
He's kind of too tall, but remember the dude who played I can't remember. I can't remember. It was like it was an old like HBO. It'll come to me later on. He had like good hair, but I can't remember. Sorry about that.
I wish I could help you there, but I can't.
Yeah. Mel Gibson. How's that?
Mel Gibson?
I just think he could put. I'm just messing around.
I was gonna say, bro, Mel Gibson.
I'm messing around.
He wasn't he? No, he was not. He made Passion of the Christ, but he was not Jesus Christ. All right, let's. So you guys have heard about animal or emotional support animals, right? Typically, it's like a dog. I've seen birds, but have you ever seen an alligator emotional support dog? Let's take a look at this man explaining.
An emotional support alligator was denied entry to a recent Philadelphia Phillies game. Joseph Henney brought Wally, his 5-foot-long emotional support alligator, to see the Phillies versus the Pirates on Wednesday, but they never made it inside the stadium. On the Phillies website, it says Citizens Bank Park allows guide dogs, service animals, or service animals in training. All other animals are prohibited. Joe has previously explained that Wally has helped him battle depression. Though Wally was not in attendance, he is quite a star with over 110,000 followers on TikTok. Should the stadium have let Wally in? Let us know your thoughts below.
Should the stadium have let Wally in? Sam, I guess I'll ask you first. Should the stadium have let Wally in?
All right. There's people who need a really tall hat for emotional support, like a 4-foot hat, right? And that doesn't fly at the baseball game, right? Can you sit at your seat with a 4-foot hat on, sitting in front of the person behind you? I mean, they would probably cause a problem. Like someone would say, hey, and then someone else would say, hey, and then eventually someone, hey, if it was like a really big hat. I know. Point is, like, I know people need emotional support, and I get it. At the same time, there could be a 4 or 5-year-old kid there.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta have to go through the ups and downs of it. It looks awesome, but like once we let him bring that in, then like where does it stop? Geckos, lizards. Are we gonna have monitors? Bearded lizards. Like what's going? Like when is it gonna end? You know what I mean? So you got to draw the line at one point.
I love lizards. Lizards are great.
No, they're great animals. They're great animals.
I actually have a bearded dragon at home. He's actually pretty cool. Yeah, this is obviously, this is kind of funny, but yeah, don't take alligators with you on airplanes and stuff like that. And then we have a visual representation of what 2023 has been so far. And well, guys, house payment, medical bill, phone bill, car payment, out groceries, house payment. So, Sam, all jokes aside, what's your game plan? Cause I'm paying more for groceries, for gas, for everything. I'm sure you are as well. Forrest and I have kind of talked about this. Do you have a game plan? Do you have any advice for people watching if they're feeling the squeeze of inflation and higher gas prices and grocery bills? Do you have any advice or anything you want to say on that?
Some advice can be like some tough love advice as well. I also, my life has been pinned to at some low points. I've hit some rock bottoms in my life. I've gotten to places where like I barely could pay the rent. I worked a night shift for 5 years of my life. And there was a time where and then I saw businessmen making tons of money. I saw the economy go down in 2008, and I still walked around Manhattan and I saw people eating $175 tomahawk steaks at Nick and Steph's on, 34th Street. And, Delmonico's was still packed, and the rich were still just taking in the money. Matter of fact, usually during downtrends, it's where the rich make the most. So while I sat there, I said, you know what? This is actually where the most money is made if I can get myself in the right perspective, in the right state of mind. And so what I did is, I started researching alternative currencies. I realized there was inflation. I started asking myself, where did the dollar come from? Where did it come from? And then I started figuring out, they procreated, they printed from thin air, the Federal Reserve. And then I said, I got to get out of it. Point of the story, long-winded, is if you focus on building wealth instead of, what the negative things that could happen. So instead of like worrying about the prices going up, I think of how to start another business. I think of another product. I just put myself as if I don't have any, like I'm always grinding. And like I used to be different. I'm like, you want to start with savings. You go after savings. But at one point, like I see people on Twitter, like I want to make a budget. And I'm like, instead of working on a budget, why don't you work on creating more wealth? Like, why don't you work on making another business? Like there's a guy out here that bought a used Harley from me recently, right? I had it for 5 years. I bought it for $2,500. I sold it to him for $1,000. I could have cared less, right? I had it for 6 years. It did its thing for me. It was a 2000 Harley. He redid it and resold it again. He already made $1,500 on that. No matter what happens in this downtrend, there's going to be someone who makes it on top. I just did a video coming out on my channel called Jesse Livermore. He made $100 million in the 1929 stock depression, when the market crashed. If you're paying attention, and again, it will be the smaller percentage of people, but you do that by being perspective, by paying attention, and by believing that you are the opportunity. It is tough. You know what I mean? At the same time, you grind as hard as you can. Like I don't take a day off. I work 7 days a week. And I guess not everyone's going to do that, but I have a fear of dropping. I don't want to fall down. I don't want to worry about the prices of things. So I just work myself to the point of oblivion. And that way I don't worry about the prices of things because I just keep working. You know what I mean? 10 years from now, I know I'm going to keep working. Inflation, deflation, whatever happens, as long as I have a good work ethic, a strong belief in God, and good discipline, I believe I can power through any economic up or down.
I'm in the same exact camp as you. The first thing we think about, and I'm guilty of this, is hey, where can I come back?
And I don't need to be rude. I don't hope that doesn't come across as rude in any way because I don't know.
I think look, one thing you'll always get on this channel from me and from our guests is just our honest opinion. Whether you're favor with that or not, that's up to you. I feel like we can all have respectable disagreements and arguments. But for me, and I've been in the situation where you start feeling a pinch and you're like, okay, where can I cut back? I need to cancel this $20 membership. Instead, focus that energy on trying to make more money. There's people every day that find new ways to make money. One of my nephews, he's 14. He made $1,500 last month selling soda and candy and lemonade, and he had his mom help him bake whatever he did, and he sold it to his classmates after school. I'm just saying, take that energy, focus on making more money. There's plenty of money to be made. And I don't say that, without understanding that people are going through hard times. I'm just saying, maybe, you backed into a corner, you start thinking, hey, I need to make more money. You never know, you might come up with a great idea. All right. Let me, so guys, I grew up on this man's music here, man. Tupac Shakur. His murder case, so he was shot and killed here in Las Vegas, Nevada, off of Koval and Flamingo, which is right behind the Strip. And for 30-some years, or close to 30 years, we haven't known who the shooter is. Some people even have conspiracy theories saying he's alive. But Las Vegas police arrested what appears to be his shooter back from 96. Forrest, did you grow up on Tupac's music? What are your thoughts here? Are you happy that finally this case can be put to rest? I know this has nothing to do with crypto, but
this is interesting because aren't there tons of conspiracies around Tupac still being alive and some crazy stuff like that? I'm not familiar with the details there, but it will be interesting to see if any interesting details pop up that people, try to dispute. But wow, getting away with it for 27 years, you just move, right? Why not just leave the country? Yeah, this is a weird one.
Sam, I know you live on the East Coast. So are you a Biggie or a Tupac guy?
Honestly, I was born in 1983, right? So I'm 12 years old. And when his greatest hits came out in 1996, I got that double CD and I listened to everything, man. Like every morning, like I listened to every song. And then I went back and listened to his older music. And I was only about a 5'8", 5'9". So I would, he was like the same height as me. I was a rapper too. People don't realize I rapped for 20 years and I have a rap album on iTunes. I usually don't say anything because people kind of get weird. Oh, he's a finance guy and he did rap. So I tend not to say it. But so I know I had a deep affection for rap. I spent hours of my life in a room putting words together. And whenever you do that and then you hear another rapper and you appreciate what they did, there's a soul connection there. And that can't be broken. And I think that's why artists sell so much. And that's why hip hop has such a lasting effect on the world. It's because it's that soul connection you get. And when you're a writer too, and you put in that time, seeing the intricate way in which another mind put together the words, and then even he has a book, right? I think there's books that he's written and he was also an actor. He did so many things. He definitely left an indelible mark on my life. I've always think about him. I made a song called Tupac Interviews. If you want to watch it, it's called Tupac Interviews. And I was watching some of his old interviews because he was really young and he was in prison one time when they framed him. And he had these great ideas about helping the youth. And he wasn't this crazy gangster that like they always kind of portrayed. He actually was like super intelligent and had this vibrant to him. He was an amazing person. There was so much more to him. He was he had so many layers. And I have a deep connection to him. I feel like he definitely helped mold part of my personality, honestly. People might not realize that because it's like, you judge everyone by a book by its cover, but Tupac has a huge part of my life. Huge part of my life.
Like I said, I grew up on his music. So to me, this was a big deal. All right. Moving on from a suspected killer arrested to a suspected fraudster arrested. And that is none other than 3 Arrows Capital co-founder Su Zhu has finally been arrested in Singapore, but not for reasons you might think. He only got sentenced to 4 months. This is a committal order stemming from his refusal to cooperate with a liquidation investigation. So he's facing 4-month imprisonment, the non-compliance led to a 4-month imprisonment sentence. So this was tweeted from the Crypto Town Hall. Moving right along, I want to show this. This was kind of crazy when I saw it. So again, I probably share a tweet from these guys at least twice a week. Kobeisi letter, home payment as percentage of median income. 68% of people's median income in Hawaii goes to housing, right? Home payment, California, Montana, Oregon, Washington, Massachusetts, Idaho, New York, New Jersey, Vermont. These are all over 50%. And so when we talk about macro and people feeling a crunch, it's not good. We have this piece of news in the crypto world, finally getting into some crypto stuff. Google Cloud announces they're serving as a validator on the Polygon network. If you've watched this channel, we're bullish on Polygon. Forrest, what are your thoughts on this news? How bullish is this, or is this kind of like, it's cool, but doesn't really do anything?
I gotta read into it a little bit more. Obviously, I mean, it's good. It's never going to be a thing, but difficult to tell like what level of commitment that is from Google Cloud, whether that's they're really standing behind Polygon. Polygon is just something that they're doing with various blockchains. But yeah, I mean, overall, definitely a good thing. Definitely not a bad thing.
Awesome. Lifer, you got any thoughts on this? On Polygon? Maybe if you want to keep it more general, talk about it. What your thoughts are on Polygon.
I mean, I love Polygon. I definitely hold a big bag of it. And I believe it's going to go up towards $5, $6, $7. And I think it's something that's going to be substantially part of the ecosystem, similar to like Atom, how it really involves many other projects together. It's one of the first coins to really like move forward with ZK rollups and ZK EVMs, and I think they're going to just get more bold. I was a little worried when half the team went to make that Avail coin, right? I guess not half, but some of the developers left. But Matic is strong, has a great team, strong market cap. These are great prices, not financial advice right now to be gobbling up some Matic. So, I mean, 25 to 50 cent Matic, when I believe it can easily get to $5 in probably 2 years is an amazing investment. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not surprised to see Matic continuing to make, good connections. Again, like he said, sometimes they make one little connection. I'd have to deep dive into like really how much infrastructure is being used, what's really going on behind the scenes there. But it's great. It's a great title, and it's nice to see a legacy name with a new crypto name kind of combining themselves in the news. So
yeah, I agree. I do want to give a couple shout outs. We had a couple super chats here. One was from Carlos, $2 super chat, said, Lifer! Love all you guys. We love you too. Also, J Coach, $99.99 said, sold my car and put it all in Caspa. New to crypto.
Wow. When did you do that? Yeah, what price? Yeah. Just whatever. I don't want to buy it. Yeah.
Just never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Welcome though. If you have any if you saw you said you're new to crypto, if you have any questions, feel free to. Our community is pretty awesome. They'll help you answer questions. All right, let's get into the markets. And today's market segment is brought to you by iTrust Capital. If you want to learn how to set up an account and save for retirement, visit itrustcapital.com. But if you use a link in our description, you will receive a free $100 once you fund your account. So shout out to iTrust for sponsoring today's show. Now, let's take a look where the crypto markets are. BTC down to 26.8. Flat on the hour and the 7-day, down 1.5% over the last 24 hours. Lifer, we keep seeing a surge, and then it just fizzles out. A surge, and then it just fizzles out. Can you talk us through a Bitcoin chart and maybe explain to us why this is happening? Is there just a crap load of sell orders going on at a certain price levels? What do we need to see? What kind of volume, and what's the structure looking like on the chart?
It's really just bigger time frames. I kind of start you off on the 3-day. All right. I've been staring at this 3-day and talking about hidden bullish divergence literally since about the 26th of August now. So for a month straight, every day, probably twice a day, or maybe even more, because I do updates, I remind my team that that's a hidden bullish divergence. And it means that you will make a high higher than the high inside the divergence, meaning like in this line, you'll break this high. I've seen it happen. It's about 90% accurate over time if you use it a lot. It's a very accurate, I call it a signal indicator, but you're the one that kind of creates it. That's why I like it a lot. It doesn't like flash, you find it yourself. And I could show you many instances of it. Another thing you could say is the 3 days above the 200 SMA. Whenever the 3-day gets above that, I get excited. I'm going to spare you like the length of time, but I'll just show you the Dow. Here we got above the 3-day 200 SMA, and that was the beginning of a massive rally, like a 7-year rally. Here it is again. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going on a 7-year rally, but if you compare this, and I won't go through every other asset in the world, I also have every October here for you. I thought that'd be kind of cool for you guys today. I have every single October since 2010, and you can just see like that was a win. Very rare that if you buy in October that you lose. It was like 2 out of the 14 Octobers, and we're just approaching October again. Just putting that up there. It's pumped over. I thought that would get people a little excited, and it took me about an hour to do that. But the thing is, Bitcoin is at these levels. See, what I did is I traded the 8-hour time frame, which I find was going to go up to the 200 SMA. Whenever you got a wedge, right, and the 200 SMA gets away, I know that we're likely going to hit it. So I put a call out to my trading group to put us, and this was one of the simplest trade I ever put out, because there was a POC right here. You had previous resistance and you had support there. So it was really, if you learned support and resistance in the last 6 months and you're a beginner trader, then you would have traded, So I said, let's get in and let's put a stop loss below the previous support and resistance and take this wedge to the upside. Now, the first night it went up, I won the trade. Next night we were in the same place. I said, I'm going to take the same trade again. And it did it again. That time it did hit the 200 SMA. I don't see it kind of as ping pong. I think I actually see it pretty strong. It broke. It was ping ponging at 26.3, then 26.6. It's now made a nice move back above. However, I have a nice cool little caveat for you guys. I got the CME chart for you, and the CME chart has a gap right there, right on top of the gap. It's got a 786 Fibonacci level, which is a known retracement. And like I tell everybody, I short. Like I short more than ever now, and how I short is a very simple way to short. I'm going to give you guys like basically some of my sauce right now. But if you look at Acropolis on MEXC, all right, this was a 9.3. I call the short on the 3-day chart. Why? Because I've been studying this for like 10 years, that every time price gets away from the 21-day moving average, a substantially bit away, and you get a bearish divergence, you're likely going to go back to it. So I called the 9.3. I said, we will hit the 21 SMA on the 3-day. I said this on the 3rd of September. And then this thing just would continue to go. And that was in a massive short. So I do this all the time. BLZ is doing the same thing. If you look at BLZ, you can see that it's likely probably going to come back down to the 3-day 21 SMA. Like that's going to be a pretty easy, pretty nice short. These will coincide with Fibonacci's to the 618 golden pocket. You'll find these amazing coincidences. So I see Bitcoin on the 4-hour doing the same thing right now, coming back down to the 21 SMA and probably heading into this Fibonacci level and retesting the 26.6. If it loses that, then you're talking 26.3. But I feel those are a pretty good load up areas for a bigger move to the upside. The 3-day still has momentum. And if you look at the weekly is in a giant double bottom. I don't see anyone talking about this. And if I just take away my charts and make it look, I mean, that's a giant W. Now, again, I'm not bullish or bearish. I'm open-minded. I have no idea where Bitcoin's going to go. I don't claim to tell you where I know. I don't know where it's going to go. I play probabilities. What I do know, though, is I backtested the 3-day above the 200 SMA. And as long, we could flip right back below it at any moment, and I'll flip bearish again. Right now, things are looking pretty good. Also, when you have this much wick, buy pressure, buy pressure, buy pressure, buy pressure, buy pressure, go study that on a weekly. Go look at a weekly that has 7 weeks in a row with wicks like that. Usually it's good. That's telling you that there's like a force of momentum. A lot of people we're told, El Capo Crypto, not to call names, but there's a big YouTubers and people on Twitter that were calling for 10K and 7K. And I'm not saying we can't get there. Maybe we will. But like we can't get there until we break 24,000. So like I'm a practical guy. We can't get to 20K until we break 24,000. I don't throw those crazy numbers out. Going to 7K, going to 50K. Like some of that kind of annoys me because it gets people emotional and they make horrible decisions. So too many people were waiting for 10,000, I think. And when price got up here, they're like, man, I got to buy. And whales are buying right now. The whales are buying. That ETF may have gotten delayed, but eventually it's going to get approved. They're going to have to get as much as they can. One last thing I want to say before I jump out of here for this on this one comment, and I put it on my Twitter, and this will blow everybody's mind. I think this will get you kind of going. And I did a retweet from my buddy Gary Cardone here last night, but I was about to go to bed and I saw his tweet, and this gave me the chills. He goes, I love how this is unfolding. ETF or no ETF. There are 62 millionaires worth 2.8 million. Damn. Pretend that each one allocates $2,500. $2,500. That will require 5.7 million Bitcoin at $26,900 at today's price, right? That's a 0.000% allocation. So what we're saying is like, there's just not enough Bitcoin to go around, man. We're going to catch this halving. And as money continue to get printed, more and more people wake up to this same fact, and less people. It's a game of musical chairs, and we're running out of chairs.
I like that analogy. It's a game of musical chairs, and we're running out of chairs. And what was that number again? 5,000 something or 5 million Bitcoin?
The math didn't look perfect to me. Actually, as my brain went to did it, I was like, is that? So look, it will require 5.7 million Bitcoin. If 2.8 million people. Now, that doesn't make sense, right? If 62 million millionaires, exactly. If 62 millionaires have to buy $2,500 worth of Bitcoin, 5.7 million Bitcoins.
Gotta do the math. Someone do the math on that for us. Someone watching,
do the math.
Make yourself useful, please. Just kidding.
I think I'm good enough. 62 million at $2.8 million. If they, you'd have to do 60 times 2,500. So you're just slapping a zero. I don't, and then you're looking at 2.5 billion, right? I don't think it's 5.7 million Bitcoin. I think that nonetheless, it's a lot of Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And
it's a lot of Bitcoin. Forrest, what are your
they're not going to buy $2,500 worth either. Like, not.
If you're a millionaire, $2,500 is like $20. So, Forrest, before we let you go, my friend, any thoughts on kind of what Sam talked about, or if anything you want to add?
Unfortunately, I was offline, so I had to hear it. I was kind of offline talking to Rocco, reconnecting, working through some of these issues. I don't know if my mic is now, but if
my long term was more bullish. I'd love to see what you say for us. My long term was a little bullish. I saw a pullback on the 4-hour. That's kind of like the nutshell of it. I saw a W on the weekly. The 3-day has hidden bullish. I'm looking at the 3-day above the 200 SMA. These are just the basic quick points.
Yeah, absolutely. If my mic is decent enough to if it's really bad, I'll stop sharing here. But I look at similar stuff to you. You mentioned you highlighted every October. I've shared this chart before where it's like October, November, December historically is Bitcoin season. Now we are in a pre-halving year, which typically underperforms compared to your post-halving year. That post-halving year is really where that bull market kicks in, but still historically we see October, November, December performance out of Bitcoin very high. Then your January, February, March is your Ethereum season. Going into like the S&P 500 and even some FANG stocks, but we'll go to the S&P 500, the indexes. I've shared this chart this table or chart all week long, guys. We're the most bearish month out of the year, and October, November, December are usually strong months. And then I posted more of these today, which is making me a little bit here in Q4. Now, of course, we could be in an outlier year. There's lots of reasons to be bearish, right? You look at the macroeconomic situation, you can make a bear case, certainly. But the biggest problem in the economy right now, among many, is rising oil prices, potentially pushing inflation back up. Well, October, November, and December, typically we see drops in oil prices due to that decreasing demand. You have people driving less, winter months, right? So energy prices we decrease in Q4. So there's a lot of reason to be very cautious. But I, like you, and I'm cautiously optimistic. I do think that there is some upside potential here going into Q4. In the long term, I am quite bullish. For the long haul for a number of different coins. I think a lot of coins will not reach their all-time highs. I said this, yesterday. There's plenty of coins that will not make it back to their all-time highs. I think there's a select few that have a very, very strong chance of outperforming last all-time highs. It's all about identifying those ones and getting the timing right and being in the market for an elongated period of time so that you can realize those gains. But yeah, hopefully my mic's okay. If it's not, I'm happy. If it's straining the connection, happy to hop off. I've been on all week long. It's been a pleasure. But yeah, just let me know.
I don't know what's going on with that call channel. We're gonna work on fixing it. So it only seems to be with your call. Forrest, I think Rocco might have sabotaged it because he knows how close we're becoming since Rob's not here. All jokes aside, Forrest, we're going to have you back on again next week. So we appreciate you, my friend. Our apologies on our end. We'll get it fixed. And thank you so much for your insight. Man, I was really looking forward to having you on here with Lifer. But for the quality of the stream and the people watching, we'll just kind of let you go and then we'll bring you back next Monday. And so thank you again. Any last words before we let you go?
No, sounds good. I appreciate you bringing on all week. I look forward to coming back next week. It's always enjoyable. Sin City Crypto is definitely something special. Love to. I'll be watching the stream to see what Crypto Lifer has. Always very interested in his thoughts and opinions on the market because he is right a lot of the time. Go channel on YouTube as well. He's a great resource to follow in the crypto space. I follow him too. Yeah. Thanks so much. You guys have a great rest of the stream. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Forrest. Pleasure's all ours, my friend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Forrest. It's very nice of you. I feel the same about you, man. I'm really I don't get to hang out with analysts a lot, so I was actually really, really excited for this. But
we'll
get together. Maybe we'll do it next week or the week after.
Whatever's going on, we'll fix it. We'll be ready to go after one. So just to kind of
we have a backup though, right?
What's up?
This morning? Well, yesterday I woke up and I rewatched some of Rob. He's such a cutie, huh? In the hospital, with his little Lego. Hey guys, I'm like, oh, little Rob. He was like a little kid in the hospital.
And Big Rob's a little cutie. All right.
Yeah, I had to say it, but I felt bad for you guys. So I was like, not a bit. I was like, man, I want to go. I should hit them up and say, hey, should I come on the show? And it's kind of cool that we did, and we had the mic problem, and we have a backup. It's kind of fun, right?
Hey,
so
man,
there was a reason.
You and Forrest are in the same group as what we consider. You guys are welcome anytime. You hit me up and you say, hey, man, I'm really interested to do more TA. I want to come on the show, bro. You don't even have to ask. You just will send you a link. You sign on. So Rob is happy to have you on. And so who knows? Just an update on Rob. He's still in the hospital. Not sure when he's going to get out. He is doing better though. He is in good spirits. And so he's getting a lot of tests ran and everything. I'll kind of keep it at that. If he wants to do an update, I'll let him do it. I don't like putting people's personal business out there, but I know a lot of you have been asking about him. We're hoping to have him back late next week, but we don't know yet. Either way,
I just see him sitting there with his Lamborghini Lego.
Yeah.
Man. I don't mean
I'm not have to take him another Lego.
because it came out. But it reminded me when I was a little kid, and like I think I was sick at home, and my mom got me some Lego or something, and it was it got me through.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah, he hit me up. He was like, "Hey man, I'm going crazy here. Can you bring me a Lego?" I was like, "Yeah, I got you." And then so that was in the assumption he was only going to be there for the night, and then he ended up being there 2 more days. Who knows when he's going to be let go? So I might have to take him another Lego today or tomorrow. We'll see. What kind of Lego should I get him? What's your favorite Lego set? Throw in the chat. Maybe I'll go throw him one after the show. Now, just to kind of go over the rest of the markets and where we're kind of sitting at, ETH coming in at $1,662. BNB 215. XRP had a little pump, up 5% over the last 24 hours, 3.76% over the last week, coming in over 53 cents. Cardano 25 cents. Nothing, no movement, nothing really happening on Cardano, at least from a news perspective. Obviously from a price perspective, it's been literally flat, 24 to 25 cents for God knows how long. Actually, Lifer, can you look at a Cardano chart? Well, is it just been like a flat line on the daily or the weekly? Is there anything that shows you we might break to the upside or even the downside?
I'm a huge Cardano fan. I've held
like a stable coin at this point.
I was actually looking at my Cardano bag. I was checking on some hardware wallets this morning. Cardano doesn't look good, to be honest. I have to be honest. And I'll show you my chart right now. So, yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a descending triangle, right? Descending triangles break to the downside. And honestly, of all the patterns in all of trading in my life, this pattern breaks down like the most guaranteed in a way. Like whenever I short a descending triangle, watch, this will be the one that won't, but whenever I do short a descending triangle, it tends to pay me pretty fast and pretty well, and we've shorted like 4 or 5 in the last, I'd say about a week and a half, and they've all played out pretty nicely. So right off the bat, I don't like this structure. I don't like that there's a head and shoulder in there, right? And that's what's called confluence. I call that combined influence. I made that up, but it makes sense to me, right? Confluence, combined influence. But yeah, I mean, right? That's pretty savvy. Shoulder, head, and right shoulder tells me that we could also break down. Weekly's really low. So if you're willing to hold Cardano for a long period of time, like I am, like for the next 2 years, these are great times to buy Cardano, I believe. Anywhere from 16 cents to 25, I believe is a steal. We may double bottom here and go higher. It's really all about the smaller time frames, daily. What happens is the stochastics, if they come back up again and you don't make a previous high, we'll have some trouble. Again, even this little section has some, descending vibes. The one thing you got going is you got a bit of a falling wedge here. And so now you're looking for some divergence on the daily, right? Like you're praying for some type of strong divergence. And you got to swing up here, and you kind of flat. That's considered what's called exaggerated bullish div, where price will be flat here, but it will actually go up on the RSI. We call that exaggerated. There's 3 types of divergences mainly. You have regular, hidden, and exaggerated. All right. That would be called an exaggerated. Don't ask me why, but that's just kind of how it is. When price action is more flat, but that's still a nice divergence. We have a stochastic pointing up. So here's the deal. If you can get back above this point of control, right, on the VRVP, which is 26.50, and Cardano can kind of mill around here, then I would be pretty willing to call this the bottom, But if I was going to swing trade Cardano, or which I wouldn't. But if I was, I would wait for it to get above this level and then ride it up to this high volume node. There's a nice gap here, but there's still a chance that Cardano doesn't get above there and actually falls further to the downside. So if you ever see the small time frame lose here, you'd look for a bearish retest and short it to the downside. I personally would love to buy a little more Cardano, I'll be honest, just because I know I can hold it, and I know I won't swing trade it, and I know I'll have it on a hardware wallet. And both times, the first rally of my life, Cardano at 2 cents, it went to $1.31. The second rally, you could have got Cardano at 8 6/10 cents, and it went all the way to $3.31. I believe we're going to get probably a rally to $5 out of this one, which is about a 20x. I see something happening for Cardano. So, and maybe even more, maybe it gets to $8. So if it got to 16 and went to 8, would be a really good return for Cardano. I'm still holding some 2-cent Cardano. I really am. So if I unload at $5, it's going to be probably one of the biggest paydays of my life, because it'll be 100x. it'll be 100x. I will 100x Cardano. It'll have taken me like 7 years, but dude, people bug out over
7x
that.
for a 10,000%, not bad.
and that's still over 1x a year, dude. And who 1x is a year? You know what I mean? So people like don't want to wait. Everyone wants to want. I didn't make 1x a year. I didn't double up. And it's like, but if you wait 8, so I always tell everyone, man, the patient man probably makes more in the end, but no one can see it. You know, everyone can see the day to day, but zoom out. You know, zoom out.
Yeah, you know, Kathy Wood, such a great quote. It's not about timing the market. It's about time in
the market.
The market. Timing the market. It's time in the market. I want to give a couple shout outs. So we had a $10 super chat from Biomex, who is in studio. We got 3 of our community members in studio. So it's pretty cool watching our community members meet each other for the first time. We got Crypto Billy, Redman, and Biomex in studio. So Biomex gave a $10 super chat. Said, when 8 ball? Are we talking about there they are. Are we talking about
that dude is one of the best pool players you will ever meet in your life. My dad
Which one?
played pool every day. But my dad played pool like religiously. Like he took money from people, and I try to be as good as my dad.
He took money from people.
I spent some time in some pool halls, and I'm like, okay, like I can, this dude, I still remember the night I had with him in Texas. It was awesome, man.
I'm terrible at pool.
He is the real deal, bro.
When I start losing really bad, and then I start trying to do trick shots to like make it seem like I don't really care, but I'm deep down inside I'm crying because I'm so terrible.
He's the type of dude in the movie where like they kidnap his whole family and like he's at the cartel like location and they put it down and they're like, one game, you know, and he's like, and like he'll win that game of pool, like, and he'll drive out with his family. You know what I mean? Like he'll win that game of pool. Like it's crazy.
He's like, you ever watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Oh, of course.
Remember when Uncle Phil went to the pool hall because Will was losing money?
Yeah.
And he pretends like he doesn't know how to play pool. And then he's like, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
I forget what the name of his stick was. Whatever. And he busts it out and he takes...
Bring me Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, he busts it out and takes the guy's money. So speaking of money, so big shout out to Biomex. $10 said, when 8 ball? Talking about the pool ball or... We are in Vegas, so you got to be more clarity there. Also, big shout out to Brokioshi gifting 5 memberships. We haven't had those in a while. The membership gift box has been closed for a while, so big thank you to Brokioshi for opening it. And to all of you that are new here, welcome. Say hello. Also, make sure to subscribe. If you're not subscribed to Lifer, which I can't understand anyone how they wouldn't be, but if you're not, we are going to put the link to his YouTube channel in the description of this video. Amazing content, like he mentioned. The man does not miss a single day. You can count on him to bring you TA every single day. And Lifer, we love you. And so go follow him, guys. Also, just real quick, just to round off the markets here. A lot of green, a little bit of red. XRD is down 7.6%. MakerDAO Rollbit also in the red. In the green, we have Sui. Algorand XRP. Gala Games is up. Jimmy must be happy. And a new token I haven't seen. NFT. Ape NFT. Cool. Apparently that is up. What is that up? 3.5%. And so pretty green in the market. If we zoom out to the 1 week, a lot of green on the weekly, on the hourly, the same. Green, a little bit of red. And so just a few things to keep your eye on, my friends. I do want to share this. And I want to get you give such great insight, Lifer. And I think this is a perfect tweet to kind of get your opinion. Bloomberg examines whether the potential government shutdown, which could take place within the next 48 hours, could trigger a flight to safety in Bitcoin, similar to the 25% rally observed during the banking crisis in March. I also want to piggyback on this tweet. This is all global currencies, the 10-year average return versus the US dollar. Every single other fiat currency is negative against the dollar, except for one little scarce asset, and that is BTC, which is up over 21,000% against the US dollar. So, Lifer, keeping both of these in mind, do you think that as people start losing faith in the government and the spending and the debt, and they see stuff like this, you think people are going to finally realize, or at least have the desire to learn and understand what Bitcoin is? What are your thoughts on just in general?
Do you ever see the book or read the book or see the movie or read the book Gulliver's Travels?
No.
Right. Well, it's like about this giant dude, right? And all these little people like hold him down, but the idea is Bitcoin, like the entire financial system is like that giant, right? And all the different countries that turn to Bitcoin are all like these little people that can hold the giant down. So like over time, we just keep chipping away. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is not only I show me the charts and I'll show you the news. The charts tell us that there's going to be a massive short liquidation up to 29,000. That's what the charts tell us.
Ooh.
If that's here's another cool way. You want to hear it? Want to see one last? This is like here's the the Idiot's Guide to the Galaxy book or something, right? Here's the Idiot's Guide to Bitcoin. All right. And I don't mean to call anyone an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm like, that's just like a saying, or I should say Cliff Notes, because that's like a better way. But check this out. When Bitcoin dumped hard, right? Bitcoin dumped hard. A bunch of people got late onto the short and there was stop losses all here. So what happened? They ripped. Bitcoin dumped hard. A bunch of people got late into the short. There's a bunch of stop losses up here. So they ripped. When Bitcoin ripped up really fast, people got late on the short and there was a bunch of stop losses down here. So they went and got them. When Bitcoin ripped, you know what I mean? So Bitcoin ripped down. All these stop losses are late. There's people that got in. There's tons of stop losses right here. They're going to get them. They do it every time. We went down, they got the stop losses here. We went up, they got the stop losses there. We went up, they got the stop losses down there. When we went down, they got the stop losses up there. It's very likely we're going for a big liquidity grab. But again, I mean, that's just common sense. But again, I could be wrong. Who knows? But there's more stop losses up here at this point, in my humble opinion, because there's more people shorting. They have more people bearish. They also keep hitting them with the narrative of a recession. The NASDAQ's going to take Bitcoin to the downside. No one keeps talking about the fact that they raised the debt ceiling and that you have a bunch of politicians that just got into office. They won the House, right? Or whatever. And they have to go back to their town and do what they said they're going to do. I'm going to redo the police station. I'm going to do bike lanes. My town right now, they're going to basically take away one of our lanes and make it for bike lanes, even though no one rides in the street. No one in our neighborhood wants that. And they call it a road diet, but they're going to do it anyway. So they have to go and vote for deficit spending. Where do they get the money? Someone's got to print that money. That money has to come from somewhere. They're going to print money, in my humble opinion. And despite their fact to try to get to 2%, I don't. So over time, I just see it. I do see this affecting Bitcoin. Also, to your point, actually, I just had an epiphany. It's not even the monetary idea, like you said in March. It's the idea that people just lose faith in the government in general. And if they lose government in general, what does the government do? It's like a person I have to trust. I don't have to trust a person when I use Bitcoin. It's a contract. So people rather, hey, I'm going to trust the math of Bitcoin rather than these clowns. They don't seem to be able to run this place properly, right? So anytime the government looks bad and can't operate, it's a great billboard for Bitcoin.
I agree. Do you worry on a personal level? Do you worry about
anything?
About inflation, losing your spending power? And if you do, what are you doing about it?
I mean, you asked me this question earlier, right? It's the same thing. I believe I'm going to outwork most people on the world. Like I'll outwork most people.
So are you still right? Okay? So then, okay. So let me rephrase the question then. So all the work you're putting in, all the money you're making, right? Are you continuing to feel comfortable keeping a majority of that in US dollars, or are you maybe starting to shift maybe a little bit of more into, I don't know, precious metals, Bitcoin, another world currency, or do you still believe the dollar is where all your wealth should be stored?
If it was cool, I would break down my entire net worth for everyone right now just to be completely transparent and show you where everything is. But I think that's kind of rude. But I will give you like an example. If I were to have $1 million, okay, like let's just say like 350,000, I literally just put into real estate. Literally 2 weeks ago, I bought a building with a guy I know who's been in real estate for 40 years. He born up, we're going to hold it for 10 years. It's going to cash flow like $6,800 a month. And we bought it cash with no strings attached with the bank, no mortgage. So boom, that's going to sit there for the next 10 years. If the population decreases, that's the only way I think I'm going to lose there. Or if some horrible catastrophe. Boston is a great market. I bought outside a city, like a neighborhood, like about 30, 40 minutes outside of Boston near the South Shore. I'm pretty sure I'm in a pretty good insulated market, right? Secondly, I hold as much Bitcoin as I have cash right now, if not more. I think I hold a little more Bitcoin than cash at the present moment in time. So I have more Bitcoin than cash. And me and my wife are talking about putting another $100,000 into Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks. You know what I mean? And at like $25,000 segments, and I would like to get back below 25K. I don't know if that's going to be possible. So no, I'm in it for the long haul, everyone. I really am a crypto lifer. Like, I'm not that. There's all these people, you see them online, they talk about crypto, and then they really don't have most of their net worth in crypto.
Yep.
I was lucky enough to get into crypto so early. Like, my first Bitcoin was $1,000. I knew about it at 350. I knew about Ethereum at 9. I got into Cardano at 2 cents. So a lot of my net worth was made so earlier on. And a lot of it I'm not spending. I'm just sitting on it until I'm ready to allocate at the right time. And I tell everyone that's why crypto changed my life. If I never had found those coins at those prices, if I never, I made a really good trade on XRP. I didn't hold it long term, but I made a really good trade. It made me like $9,000. I got in at like one something, like 120, and sold it like 220. And it just cryptocurrency has changed my life, everyone. That's why I show up every single day. I want everyone else to feel that way. Like, I used to go to work every day and really feel really like I was imprisoned. It made me feel kind of depressed. Even though I was super happy and excited about my life, I did not want to sit in the cubicle for somebody else. It was tearing me apart every day. And I knew I had so much to give that I couldn't give to the world because I was giving it to this job. And I said, if I could ever center my energy into something that I truly desire and want, I know I could even be more impactful to the world, right? And so that's why I do what I do every day, because I want everyone to feel that I want to wear a suit today, I can. If I want to wear jeans today, I can. I can wear whatever I want, right? And I don't know, it's just there's a great feeling to be free, and we're all not 100% free. There's billionaires and millionaires above us and trillionaires that run this, but you find your happy place in the world, you stay disciplined. And I don't think getting right with God did a lot for me too. And I don't want to preach on people, but it did a lot for me.
That's great. That's great to hear. Like you said, there's not a shortage of people that say they're in crypto, they love crypto, but do they even hold crypto? You mentioned you can wear whatever you want. We always see the upper half of you, right? You're always dressed very dapper. Are you the Kevin O'Leary type where you're like business up top, but lounging on the bottom, like you wear flip-flops and shorts? Or are you like head to toe in this, like Robert Downey Jr. said in Tropic Thunder?
I usually end the stream at 12. I then have a meeting with my team from 12 to 1. And something else happens. I have to go upstairs to cook. And then we pick up my daughter at 2 o'clock. So like I always have pants on. The only thing is I usually have a protection on. So like I never want to show it on the stream, but every once in a while I will wake up, like in the summer times, it was super hot. I was just wearing some mesh shorts, you know what I mean? Because like, I'm not going to sit there and sweat out, completely. But I would have some, nice shorts. I like to wear a nice belt in the morning and get ready. But if I'm running late, sometimes I'm running late, you know what I mean? It may, like 95% of the time I'm full blown. You know what I mean? Cool. That's a good question though. Yeah, every once in a while there is a time where I throw on the top. I'll be honest.
You ever do it in your underwear? Just kidding. You don't have to answer that question.
I did it without underwear. Not just
make sure just to wipe your behind, okay? Don't listen to the lady earlier. I do want to get into this piece of news. And so I think a lot of us were, including myself, I thought there was a pretty good chance we were going to get an approval on October 17th for Blackrock. And if we were to get a delay, they would have waited till the last minute. But the SEC came out and just delayed everything. For Blackrock, it was more than 2 weeks before the deadline was due. For some of the other ones that were due October 6th, those are delayed as well. And so this piece of news, SEC delays Bitcoin ETF proposals from Blackrock, Valkyrie, and every single other one. The SEC has decided to again postpone its decision on several Bitcoin ETFs. This announcement comes following previous delays on decisions for ARK and Global X until January of next year. So no ETF this year, guys. No ETF this year. BlackRock's application for a Bitcoin ETF is particularly anticipated. The asset management company, which manages $9 trillion, has an impressive approval record of 575 to 1. So out of 576 ETF applications, the SEC has only denied one. Eric Balchunas, who is the senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, he tweeted something that was very interesting. He's saying he's hearing rumors that the SEC is actually reaching out to these ETF, the companies that have launched ETFs. He said that's never been done before. So is this foreshadowing? Is this forecasting that they just need more time? My thing is, we know the government shutdown. That includes the SEC shutting down as well. They're probably just saying, look, we know we're going to delay it October 16th. Let's just come out and delay it now. That way, when we come back from the government shutdown, because they don't know how long it's going to be, we can just come back with a clean slate. We don't have a desk pile full of paperwork that we have to go through. Either way, though, it got delayed. Lifer, let me ask you this question. We've always had retail drive the bull markets, right? I've said on this channel that I think this cycle, this bull market is going to be driven, the liquidity is going to be driven by institutions, and then retail is going to follow in. If we do not get a spot ETF by the halving, do you think retail is strong enough with everything going on in the economy to push the mass amounts of liquidity we need for a new bull market? Or do you think this bull market, with everything considered, inflation, mortgage payments, interest rates, it's not going to be enough? We need the institutions. We need a spot ETF.
You know, it makes me want to redefine, like, when we say the word retail, right? Even just, I think last week people were paying a premium for Bitcoin, and I believe it was in China. You know, I read an article, they were paying a little bit over spot price, right? So when I think of retail, I also think of the El Salvadorian government. You know what I mean? Are they institutions or are they retail? Like, and you know, how many other countries are going to turn on the idea to bring in some of their balance sheet into Bitcoin? I know that the big people run the world, you know, M1, M2 money supply. Like, we definitely need the money supply to be proliferated. Like, yeah, we need big money. We're not getting to $250,000 Bitcoin. We're not getting to $1 million Bitcoin. I believe retail has the ability to continue to buy Bitcoin over time. And I think it'll take a lot longer, but it will happen. The thing about Bitcoin is it moves with the flow of the growth of the internet, right? And that Moore's law, that anything digital, right, will continue to expand digitally exponentially. And as the internet just continues to grow and more people use the internet, you have to remember, like, there's a 60-year-old lady right now who's finally deciding that she's going to log on, and there's a kid that's finally 8 or 9 years old that can finally figure out that iPad, and that kid will soon be an 18-year-old kid, and now it may buy their first Bitcoin. So as the internet continues to grow, retail will continue to grow exponentially, in my humble opinion, specifically the retail for Bitcoin purchasing. It's a great question with a lot of intricacies that and some details there. Long story short, we need bigger money to come in. But I think over time, retail could push. And I believe the definition of retail is there actually could be countries involved. And there's a kind of a gray area as to, like, how much money could come from outside of traditional institutions when the whole world really gets pressed. If China presses on that button and you have billions of people, if Hong Kong really keeps moving forward, and as we see, exchanges are doing well, and they're actually changing the laws pretty nicely to make sure the exchanges are custodying properly, it's a good sign. Once we get the regulation, I mean, that's why everyone is just waiting for that, like, yes, and that ETF is going to be that step. And once that ETF goes, everyone in the world will have the ability to say, let's put 1% of our wealth in that Bitcoin ETF.
Yeah.
Just like they put it in a Vanguard ETF. And just like, it's going to be looked at like a long-term hold for many, many millionaires and billionaires. So,
well, and it's a few things. I think one is accessibility, right? I can now just, like, hey, I got my money with BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, insert name here, and here, look, I have access to it in my just regular TradFi portfolio. Cool, easy access. Also think there's I forget the phrase, like society deems it okay, like social proof. I don't even know if I'm using the right word or not, but it's like, okay, they approved it. All the big companies are pushing it. Okay, it's probably a good investment.
Well, because the status quo, I guess you mean? Or
yes. I forget the phrase. But either way. So people see it and they see it as like, all right, they signed off on it. This is good to go. I want to allocate some of my money into something like Bitcoin. But just look at the last bull market back in 2020, 2021, leading into the end of 2022. When did Bitcoin really start moving is when the government started printing money and they airdropped $1,400 stimulus checks into people's bank accounts. So that is what we talk about. You cannot have a bull market, a new market, without liquidity. Right now, there is no liquidity. We see Bitcoin move 6-7%, and the volume is still under $30 billion. At the height of when FTX was going under, we were at over $200 billion. At the height of the bull market, we're close to $160 billion in trading volume. That is down. We know the market makers are stepping away. We know the order books are thin. So We need the liquidity to come into the space.
But then we have more 1,000 Bitcoin addresses than ever. The hash rate's higher than it's ever been. There's more activity on the mining. There's more millionaires hold the Bitcoin, right? So then it's like, but they are buying on the low though. Like it's almost like the supply is drying up. Like,
but you need that demand of liquidity, right? Obviously, what is being purchased now, it's not enough demand to move the price up significantly, right? Because you either have people that are still speculating on the short side of Bitcoin, and the demand on the buy side is not enough to push the price up. But when I look at, I just look at trading volume, right? You've been trading for a very long time. 30 billion trading volume, 25 billion. That's pretty damn low.
Yeah.
Right. And what does that tell you about where the market is when we're seeing low trading volume like that?
Well, I mean, a lot of the volume comes in with the altcoin hype too, right? So it's like you got to get that. Like even I know it's not the perfect time yet. You know what I mean? It's just I've been through these cycles before. It's, I do say I remember March of 2019, November and December. That was when you could have bought Cardano at 8 cents that November. Yeah. This may be not that year, but I do know October, November, December, I keep my spidey senses very high for altcoin prices because there is a chance these 3 months could end up becoming some of the greatest buys ever. And the way look how Cardano looks, if Cardano gets one more straight capitulation down, I mean, that's probably, I don't see who's going to sell it off any much cheaper than that. So these, to me, and that's Cardano's kind of a leading indicator of some of the altcoins in a way, like behind Ethereum. So these are I just use the fear. I love this fear. I love when people get into fear. I've programmed myself now to use fear to my advantage. And it really is, it's an amazing tool. I don't really even believe in fear anymore. I keep telling myself, the other day I wrote down the word worry. And I said to my wife, I said, I'm never going to worry again. And she said, why? I said, I just had this epiphany. And I was writing in like this daily diary. And I wrote to myself, I will not worry anymore. I said, what is worry? I said, worry is a form of procrastination. I know something that I have to do, but I don't do it. So then I worry about it. I said, so I either have to get done what I need to get done, enjoy myself for the time being in the present moment and not worry about what I think I need to be doing. Like just be there with my kid when I'm with my kid. When my wife asks me to cook with her, be in the kitchen and cook. Don't worry about the charts and Bitcoin, right? Be there with my wife and cook. So if I just stay present and I basically kind of remove the word worry from my life. And our word worry is a part of fear, fake emotion acting real, right? You worry because you're afraid of something that you're not taking care of. So if you take care of it, so I really truly believe the word worry is like a human construct. It doesn't truly exist. It's like not even real. It's not real. But yet everyone around you is using this word. 90% of people, your mom said, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about this. Your neighbor, because 90% of people are using negative terminology that's making them think things that aren't real, man. So I try to push myself away from the word worry as much as possible.
Be honest though, lifer. Just be completely transparent here.
Yeah.
When you are cooking with your wife and you're not in front of your laptop, you're still thinking about the charts, right?
Oh yeah, all the time.
We don't have to tell her, but yeah, just so the crowd knows. I do want to give, lifer talks about worry not being real. You know what is real is money's real. And well, we've got some community members that are throwing money our way, and one is Brokioshi gifted another 5 memberships. That brings it to amazing. 10 total. So big thank you. Also, Redman in studio gifted 10 Sin City memberships. So if you're a new member, if you're one of the proud recipients of a new channel membership, welcome. You get access to the emojis. There are some members only videos you should go watch. Also, shout out to Hendy for being a hodler for 15 months. That is amazing. Said, I've got some time in the market. Glad I stayed in the market this time instead of putting my head back up my non-wiped butt.
That was crazy, right?
Guys, I do want to give a couple last shout outs to channel sponsors, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, big thank you to Radix, the top layer 1 DeFi in our space. Big shout out to their team yet again for a successful mainnet upgrade. If you want to learn more about Radix and their ecosystem, visit radixdlt.com. Also, guys, go check out our merch store at nnotcrypto.com. You'll not only find Sin City merch, but you'll also find merch from your favorite projects. Cardano is one of them. XRP is another one. SHIB. Can we get a Litecoin one, Rocco? I feel like there's a lot of Litecoin fans.
Okay.
I'm kidding, of course.
Okay.
Also, shout out to Alex Crypto in the chat as well. Lifer, we want to thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you on, my friend. We love your insight. We love your enthusiasm. And we love your excitement. If people want more Crypto Lifer, we already got your YouTube channel link pinned in the comments. Where else can they find you if they want to learn the ways of Sam Price, the Lifer?
Yeah, no, we have a great Discord. You want to jump on cryptolifer.com, brand new website. Actually, will you let me show that off real quick?
Yeah, go.
Of course.
We worked so hard. Took us such a long time to build and get it going. Cryptolifer.com. Cost me $7,000 for just cryptolifer.com.
Damn.
That's crazy, right? But that's how much I cared about the .com and putting the brand out there, and reinvest in your business, everybody. You make some big gains. You go buy a car for your neighbors to see. Reinvest in your business. You know what I mean? Like, take care of your clients and your customers, and everything else will be taken care of. The second you forget about your business and your customers and your clients, you can kiss everything else in your world goodbye. You need to focus on what you built and continue to grow it, and you need to put your profits back into your business, man. And I'm just super proud of this website. It took us a long time, back and forth, and I'm just super excited. Yeah, you can join today. We have resources. You can see the trading group, and eventually it's going to be a portal where you can learn, and we're going to have like classes in here too, and we're going to expand the education. So we're not stopping, everybody. We doubled our trading group in the bear market. We're going to continue to grow, and I can't believe what's going to happen in the next 2 years.
That's awesome, man. We're bullish on Lifer. We had the decision, SinCityCrypto.com or SinCityCrypto.io. We went the cheap route because all our money is tied up in our cameras and our studio equipment. So
I went IO, right? And then I hired like a marketing guy who I don't work with anymore, but I sat with him, and every night he was like, "You need to buy a .com." And as like the CEO, I was like, "Yo, chill, man." I was like, "I know what I'm doing. Like, leave me alone," And like, he's like, and then I looked how much it was, and I was like, "Nah, man." I was like, "We could put money in way other places. Promotion. I can, have, staff." I was like, "This is." And then one day I sat there in the middle of the night, and like we had a good month, and I'm like, and I was like, "Man, I kind of want to just like impress my whole team." And I'm like, and then I sent them a message. I was like, "I did it, everyone." And they were like, and it really inspired everyone on like, it kind of got the company, like, it was kind of like, oh man, like he believes that much in the name. I think it did. It created like a culture for the company, right? It was like, wow. So I just go for it, everyone. Don't live in fear. You know what I mean? Don't live in fear. Like, go for it. Fake emotions acting real. Don't listen to them.
I love it,
man. Get rid of negative people in your life.
Amen to that. Guys, we're going to have, and I'll kind of end the show with this. I know it can get a little frustrating being in the space, hearing all the FUD, all the bad stuff going on, and this hack and this fraud and that fraud, and you got the SEC and you got the politicians speaking out about it. People losing money, people getting their wallets drained. The space is not where it should be right now. But let me put it to you this way. If you're here now and you're watching, you're paying attention, you're tuning in, you're listening to people's opinions, you're being smart with your money, you're setting money aside, you will be rewarded in the biggest way that you've ever been rewarded in your life. You can mark my words on that. I 100% believe that is the truth. You just got to be patient. You got to be patient. You got to just learn, study, watch, listen, read, prepare yourself, because this might be the very last massive opportunity that we have as an entire space before things start to even out. And once institutions, traditional companies, everyone's on the blockchain, payment systems are on the blockchain, companies, supply chains are on the blockchain, payments are everything becomes on the blockchain, the upside potential starts to dwindle. You're not going to get 100Xs out of top 50 tokens, top 50 projects 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And so just be smart with your money, be smart with your time and your knowledge, and you will be rewarded. And so big shout out to you if you're still around and watching. Guys, with that being said, we got a convention setting up to do. So I'm going to tornado us out of here. Lifer, I want you to do the honorary finger tornado. I'm sure you've seen me do this. So all you got to do is say, Rocco,
do it right.
And then tornado it, and he'll probably rug you like he did for us the other day. But anyways.
All right, let's see. You got to say Rocco, though, huh?
This is like a big deal for me.
Okay.
I take all this. This is a big deal for me.
Okay.
That was a good one. Guys, thank you so much for an amazing week. Thank you to Forrest. Thank you for Lifer. Come back next week, Monday, same place, same time. On behalf of all of us here, we love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob.
I can't keep doing the shoulder shrug. Go to the
credits. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be